let's talk about the oxymorons, the paradoxes, the coexistences that go on in our life as it's going, as it's happening. Having reverence and irreverence, having a sanctity and a silliness, having the joke but of a lifetime, right? So, been experimenting with different names, newer names for the channel, and I really like that one, Joke of a Lifetime, because it's serious but also silly. Like, you're also joking around, but you're also engaged, right? So you're serious in that sense, in the sense that you're engaged, but you know that ridiculous stuff is going to happen, unexpected stuff is going to happen, and you can either laugh about it while it's happening, or just a sigh like, wow, this is ridiculous, right? Like, you don't have to be happy about it, but you can just be a little silly about it, have some silly goosery about it, where it's like, wow, life, I thought this was gonna happen, and it didn't. In fact, this ridiculous, maybe polar opposite thing happened to my expectations, you know. And then you can basically, if you get to a point of clarity of mind and heart, so to speak, where it's like, wow, life threw me another curveball. Like, really? All right, life goes on. So this concept of the momentary existence, each moment being its own flavored joke of a lifetime. Life itself, the joke of a lifetime, where it can be sanctified, because this is where the nihilism and the sort of textbook atheism is, in my perspective, missing the plot, so to speak, where it's like, oh, life is meaningless, so why try? Or, you know, this ain't gonna make any sort of difference, so whatever. And to fall into this sort of abject, symbolic poverty of sorts, where it's like, you know, nothing's ever going to be enough, or, you know, why strive for joy and fulfillment? You know, the ups are just going to bring more downs, etc., etc. And it's like, look, at least in my opinion, I'm like, dude, bro, like, play the game. Like, tell your story, tell your joke of a lifetime, right? Like, who cares if your legacy will be, you know, bowed down upon or spit upon? Like, if you are exploring and creating, experimenting, trying new things out, consistently reinventing yourself, and even if a bunch of it is a failure, because that's just life, that's just a part of life, to experiment, to dive deep, to explore, to try things out and discover things about yourself, about the world, about people, about places, about things, doing research, getting interested, getting intrigued in general, right? Like, what if you, like, barely do anything and you just dedicate your time to, you know, you're doing the work, paying the bills, but then, like, beyond that, like, if you don't like people, whatever, don't talk to people. Research interesting things, like, on the internet. And then, who knows, like, you might get to a point where you're researching, and then you're reading comments, and then, oh, you respond to a comment or two or five, or 100, like over the months, over the years. And then someone responds back. And then you strike up a friendship, if not, an entire full-blown relationship. It's like, explore, like research. Like, go ahead, go into hermit mode if you want. Go ahead, go into antisocial mode if you want. Go ahead, like, go into crazy, wild, experimental mode. As a phase, right? These can all be phases, or it can be your entire life. Like, who cares? Make this the joke of a lifetime. This quote, which might have been from another person, but like, I love this quote where it's like, reality is a joke, life is a joke, now go make it the funniest shit you've ever seen and heard, right? Life is a joke, now go make it the funniest shit you've ever seen, right? Like, you can have this irreverence, but at the same time, there's enough sort of existential reverence where you're like, look, I see this playing field and I'm gonna respect it enough, right? If you hear the word respect and it's nails on the chalkboard for you, like, listen, respect the playing field enough where you're seeing the boundaries, where you're seeing like, okay, like if I do too much of this, it's gonna throw me in jail, or if I do too much of this, it's going to like get me like physically hurt, etc., like stuff like that. So enough of a respect where you're like, you're respecting the playing field, you're respecting the what would you call it, the potential pitfalls, the potential cause and effect of things. But beyond that, like, go play, like, go tell your joke, right? And it's one of these, like, I'm living it. Like, I cannot stress this enough. And I've been doing this for long enough where I'm like, oh wow, I'm becoming wildly productive. Like, I usually work in school jobs, and yesterday was the first day where I was a quote-unquote free agent of sorts, which, at least in my mind and heart, I'm just like, I'm able to put myself in situations, right, at my leisure. And I even consider types of work as leisure. So I'm doing these handyman type jobs. Shout out to TaskRabbit, check out that app. Just like building furniture, like putting screws in the right places, hammering the right stuff, drilling the right things at the right times, and making good money, right? Like $40+ an hour. Cool. And then doing other jobs like DoorDash, where it's just like, all right, cool, make a good 15, 20, 25 bucks an hour. And if you're like, oh, 20 bucks an hour, like, that's not much. Maybe, but all the while, you're getting exercise, you're getting sunlight, you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to audible research, right? You could be researching, expanding your mind while making money, while exercising, while getting that vitamin D, while getting a nice little tan, right? Like all this stuff. So these thoughts, right, about not it just being about the money, but what you're getting out of it, right? Like, I would take a slight pay dive if it meant physical activity and sunlight, right? Like, if I was, I've been considering doing jobs in the realm of, like, personal trainer type stuff, where it's like, cool, I can get paid to help people and work out, right? I can get paid to get more muscular and help people out getting more muscular and healthy in general, right? It's not about the muscles, and it's not even just about the strength, even though strength is awesome, and looking awesome is awesome, but it's also about health, right? There are enough research papers talking about, look, you have a certain level of strength, a certain level of or a certain amount of muscle mass, and that directly correlates to longevity. Like, freaking awesome. So let's wrap this up. So life, you can have irreverence and reverence simultaneously. This can be the joke of a lifetime. This can be the silliest sport of all time. Playing it, laughing about it all along the way, and getting wins, getting gains, being productive, getting money too, right? Where it's like doing these jobs, experimenting with your productivity, experimenting with your work ethic, experimenting with your endurance, your strength, etc. Right? So it's like, I'm experimenting. I'm playing these games with my physical body, my mental body, my emotional body, my heart and soul body. Like, I'm experimenting. Like, I'm playing games. I'm getting silly with it. So, in that sense, I'm being irreverent. I'm being a silly goose. But at the same time, there's a great amount of reverence and sanctity, where I'm just like, whoa, this is the joke of a lifetime, and it's so, dare I say, like, spiritual, without being religious. It's just like, wow, life is intense, but also glorious in this existential way. It's like, wow, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. So, yeah. So, all of that. Think about it, feel about it, do about it, be about it. Ooh, I like that. Catch you.